all of you can see my screen, correct? Open the chat box. Yeah. Okay. So all of you just see here. First, I'll define the problem, and then I will no, I'll solve that particular problem. Okay. So the problem is, say for example, I'm conducting a meeting today, right? So I'm conducting meeting using what? I'm conducting meeting using Cisco WebEx, right? Okay, so this WebEx, using WebEx, I'm conducting this particular meeting. So I'm just conducting this meeting. So whenever I conduct meeting, so all your information will be logged in this particular portal. So if you see, so this is basically the dashboard, the WebEx meeting dashboard. Okay, so we have procured this particular WebEx software, and we can set up any meeting for any duration. So here, what happens whenever we conduct some session? So attendance will be attendance will be logged. Okay, so that means attendance will be recorded. So now, say for example, if I want to see the recording, the attendance for any session, then what I have to do according to them, I have to go to this particular reports, and then I have to click on the usage report. Say for example, let me take one session. Say for example, so when we have conducted last class, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, correct? Tuesday or Wednesday. So let me take Tuesday's record. So just I'll go to Tuesday, 10th August. Okay, so I'll pick the date. So in that particular date, whatever sessions are there, it will display in my account, correct? So I'm just downloading that particular usage record, and we have conducted a session. One session details are there. So now I'm just clicked on one, the session detail. Okay, so now when I click on this particular, now can you see here? So this is how it records the, attendance. So yeah, that that ID name of the person who attended, and then email ID and all those things. Okay. So, and what we can do, there is one option called export. Okay. So when I click on this particular export, so what happens? So this is the overview of the session. So when the session was taken for August 10th, and what is the duration? 40 minutes. And how many people attended, all those things information. When I export that information, so this will export one CSV file. This will export one CSV file. Let me save that CSV file, and I'll open this particular CSV file. Okay, so I'm just opening this particular CSV file. So this is the report what I'll get after exporting that particular session detail, correct? So can you see this report? Now in this report, if you see, these are the people who present in that particular session. Okay, and if you see the complete information will come. What is the start time, end time of that particular person who attended the meeting, and what is the duration he attended the meeting. All those information will come here. Okay, say for example, Roshni, 3 times she logged in and different duration. Okay, and almost everybody attended 38 plus minutes. Around 38 minutes. Okay, so now you see here, this is the format in which the report will is exported from the WebEx meeting. Okay, now what is the problem? The problem is I want to find out absentees. Okay, so I want to find the register number of absentees. So that is my task. Okay, so everybody understood the problem. The problem is I have to identify the register number in this entire list. Okay, so whoever is absent, I want the register number of that particular person. Okay, so that is the objective. So now how to get? Can anybody tell me the logic? So what is the logic I can use to find out the absentees? Can anybody? You can unmute yourself and You can answer. Okay. Compare this list with class list. Very good. Okay. So Gino is saying compare this list uh, with the class list. Okay. Very good. So that is what we are going to do. Uh, Duration. Now the question mark is duration. Okay. So to whom we have to give the attendance. So now you see that again. Say now what is our task? Our task is, yeah, definitely compare. Okay. So compare the class list. You know, class. I mean this list what we've obtained from the this particular tool with the uh, reference list. Okay, so that is what we have to do. Okay, so and some constraint is telling, say what about duration. Okay, so duration, whether we have to compare, we have to consider the duration. You see, these are all duration. If zero, then what we have to do? That is what Chandra is saying. Yeah. So maybe if my session is 40 minutes, okay, maybe I can set up some 80%, above. If it is greater than 85%, give, attendance. Otherwise, those who are attended 20% of the duration absent. Like that, I can set up the logic there and check if check. Subham is saying check it one by one using loop. Yeah, yeah, true. So how you are going to compare this? How you are going to compare this? Compare. Check what? Okay, so check one by one what? Okay, so in loop. Okay, so yeah, loop. So this is correct. Check using if and else. Okay, so if you are inside a loop, which parameter is unique in, see, now the thing is, see which one is unique in both the list, which one is unique in the both in yeah, email. Very good, very good. So if you see, this is the here if you see anyway, the what is that, the user register number. Say for example, I'll just open the reference list. So the reference list for your class is this. Okay, so this is what I have. Okay, so what I have a register number, name of the candidate, and the class, and email ID and phone number. Yeah. So now the thing is, what is common in both the things? Definitely, you see, register number is not available in the WebEx, platform. Correct. So in WebEx platform, register number is not there. So definitely I can't use that. So name is also not, common. So the WebEx name is different, and what you are registered in your Christ University, that name is different. Yeah, register number we cannot use because register number is not available in both the lists, so we cannot compare. We cannot, compare one by one, and we cannot take that particular, data. That is one problem. And phone number is also not there in both the list. But the only one unique thing what you can find in both the list is basically email ID. Okay, correct. So email ID. So now that email ID, we have to compare and we have to fetch that particular. What is that? So if the email ID is present here in the WebEx report, okay, and what you have to do? This email ID, if the email ID is present, then come back to this list and just search for that particular person, and then just go to that particular record, and you can fetch whatever information you want. If you want register number or name, whatever register number, so you can take that particular register number, take the email ID from the report, and come to this reference list. Okay, so come to this reference list and look for that particular email ID, and then that corresponding register number, you just take it and accumulate it. Okay, so that is what you can do. Correct. You understood this one, the logic. The problem is to find the register number of absentees. That is the problem what we are defining. And what kind of logic we'll use? So we know the format of the report. We know the format of the report, and then we have a reference list. And then, as you said, we have to compare one by one. Okay, and if the email ID, no, whatever attended person is there, then what we can do? So we can take that one, and the remaining one is basically absentees. Okay, the remaining one. So if that email ID is not present, then it is a no absentee. So that is the logic what we'll use. And again, you can create lot of constraint. Okay, so you can constraint. I mean, if the duration, if 80% greater than give attendance, all those constraint we can set. So now for time being, what we will do, so if the email ID is present in this particular list, then we'll give attendance, otherwise we will not give attendance. So that logic we'll use. Okay, so now this one is clear. So the problem is clear, and the solution is also clear. So so now we have to go for programming. So now in this particular work, let me start. So I'm just start demonstrating this. Okay, I'm just opening Jupyter Lab. Okay, so yeah, this build problem, I'll just come. Okay, I'll just okay. So just go to this desktop. I'll just create a folder. Maybe attendance program, and I'll open that folder. And what I'll do, I'll just place this two reference list in that particular place. Okay, so these are the two reference list what I have. So I'm just pasting in this particular place. Okay, so maybe in attendance. Okay, I'm just pasting that to data. Okay, so that CSV file I'm just placing. Okay, let me start writing a program. So I know the logic now. Okay, so now what I have to do, I just have to write a program. I already written, just I'll just place line by line. Huh. Yeah. You can automate. See, the idea is this. See, for example, we are all taking classes. See, I mean, at one point of a time, in the back end, fetching that report and finding the absentees and updating it in your attendance in KP. All these things should happen. It is possible. That's what that is the point where we have to reach. See, why we have to take attendance manually when we are when we have this particular data at back end. That is the whole idea. Okay, so and that is the objective what we have to set. So in future, we will just take class and then we leave it. Your attendance will be updated in the back end. Okay, so this should you have to create, but I will be teaching a very simple demonstration. But so you can take it up and you can create a complicated one. I mean, that means considering all the things. You see, taking this data for multiple classes and fetching the absentees, and connecting to the KP in the backend, how you will write a program, and it will be very simple. When you create the program, definitely we can approach to the management, and you can approach. I will discuss with the management, and your program we can automate in some server, and you understood. So that is definitely possible, and definitely management will really appreciate your work. And in that spirit, you try to take this particular session. Okay. And now there is some technicalities also there with respect to our syllabus. I'll just tell you now. So what we have to do. So now let me start line by line. I written a code. I'll just start pasting that particular code. Okay. See, now the first step what we have to do is basically take that particular report. Okay. So what is this line does? Okay. So this line is basically, see, whenever I export my report, okay, I'll tell you why I included this line. Whenever I export my report, So this exports in this particular name, session detail report, and followed by some date and time. Okay, date and timestamp. So this is the format in which the the export will happen from the WebEx. So this is the format. Okay, so you can see my screen, right? So the format is basically this. Okay, file name format. Now what I will do, so I know I don't take I don't rename that file directly, I mean manually. So I will it will search for the current directory. So the first line is, okay, it will search in that particular current directory, and it will take all the file in that particular directory. In that directory, if the file matches with the name session report and the name of the file, okay, the name of the file, the path of the particular file will be stored in the variable called file name. You understood these three lines, everybody? So these three lines will take the will search of file name with the session detail report followed by anything. Star means anything, anything, let anything follow after that, and then path will be saved. And this is what these three lines does. And so now if you see your syllabus, and there is one concept called file handling. Okay, so file handling means taking some particular content from the file. Okay, so it can be Excel file, it can be Word file, it can be XML file, any kind of file. If you are taking data from a raw file, then it is called file handling. Okay, so now in that topic, this is relevant. Okay, so file handling means we are trying to take one file from one place. Yeah, so if multiple files are there, okay, so then you have to come up with the strategy. Okay, so if multiple files are there, maybe you may have to repeat this particular attendance report for that many number of times. Okay, so you may have to have some count, like plus some count plus whenever that that file name repeats. Say for example 2 repeats I added, then increase the counter on a, and then you just emulate this particular program for that many number of times, and you will get two set of register numbers, correct? So that can be your objective, correct? So if you have multiple files, then you have to create one count variable, and that count variable should be the number of repetitions what you will be doing the entire thing. So this is what these three lines done. And let me take the next code. Yeah, this is very important. Okay, so now see what I'll be doing now. So okay, so now this, you see so this line is basically you see you have a file name, okay, file name which is stored in file name variable. Now, so there is one library called pandas. Okay, so there is one library called pandas. Okay, so now I'm just taking that particular library and I am just putting. Okay, so pandas. So what is this pandas will do? Pandas library will do. See, normally, whenever you store any data, okay, so whenever you store any data, so that will be saved in some kind of Excel file, correct? Excel file, or some kind of spreadsheet. Okay, and it can also be some formatted content in text file also, ASCII file. You understood? In text file also you can save some kind of data. Okay, say for example you can save some kind of name, okay, register number like this. Okay, so name may be some kind of okay, ram, and register number maybe 123. See, some kind of formatted content you may also store in text file, or any spreadsheet, or or any relational data. Okay, so now, so this pandas library is basically used for fetching data and do some kind of data tuning. okay, data preparation, okay, data synthesis, okay. So for all those things, this pandas library can be used. Say for example, I use this particular library to fetch the, I have a Excel file. From Excel file, I need to read this entire data, right? This entire data, I need to take it to Python program. So I can use pandas library to read the spreadsheet content. Okay, and also a lot of diagnostic analysis you can do. Okay, say for example, this pandas library gives lot of functions to tune that particular data. So they will call that particular data as data frame. So whatever data frame you are taken from the that particular file. Okay, so you can tune that particular data. Lot of options are there. In fact, this pandas library will also provide some data analytics functions also. Okay, so now the whenever you come across some kind of reading relational data, or then you have to go for pandas library. So here I am just reading simple records. Now I am using pandas library. I am creating an instance called PD, and then I am reading that particular. So this read CSV file function is present in pandas library. So now I am just creating a data frame. Okay, just a second. Just a second. I am getting call from office.